Welcome everybody to the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg on Fox.
Drivers, start your engines!
Around turn 14, 2 by 2 they go. The 27 cars of the 2025 NTT INDYCAR Series, and on the streets of St. Petersburg, we are racing. Scott McLaughlin with a peerless performance from pole keeps that lead with absolutely no problems at all down into turn 1, with Colton Herta following through in second place.
Two Meyer-Shank teammates there, Rosenquist and Armstrong, in the blue and white cars behind. They were side by side for a while, but it's single file as Colton Herta tries to catch back up after McLaughlin
and that's
got
a big
the start.
one. That's Nolan Siegel at the back.
Massive contact for the number 6 full course caution. You see the 12 of Will Power, a championship contender.
Awesome.
Well, and that is race over for Siegel. That is rookie Louis Foster as well.
You see it almost starts with Joseph Newgard in that blue car. There was a bit of a gap there. He seemed a little slow out of turn 2, a queue behind him, and that accordion effect just got everybody bunched up. Maybe Siegel was a little bit slow. Power got into the back of him. Nothing Nolan did wrong there. Another car involved. Oh, that was Foster. Maybe Foster even got into the back.
Oh, it was Power.
Yeah, Nolan just had to check up a little bit.
As the call as they come down the start-finish stretch once again. Rosenquist all over the back of McLaughlin, makes a move to the inside to have a look in turn 1, but McLaughlin has it covered.
He's got to be so late on the brakes, but you see 5th in line there. Alex Rossi closing the gap there, side by side. Colton Herta already trying to make some moves up from 10th, essentially leading on that alternate strategy.
McLaughlin looking a little squirrely there as he tries to find temperature again in his tires, and that's Santino Ferrucci locking up, almost getting into his teammate David Malukas. AJ Foyt Racing running well up there, 6th and 7th right now.
As we here of Rinus VK putting the move on Kyle Kirkwood in the Chili's Honda. A great move from Rinus VK, and there's one thing we know about him is he going to keep it in? Kyle Kirkwood, I think, has just kept that position. We know VK.
See on the pylon there, tire designations, the color and the compound, P for the primaries. That's the harder, slightly slower over a lap, but hopefully lasts a little bit longer. And that's been the whole talk all weekend long, is just about how soft those soft tires are and how fast they fall off. And that's the tire that your leader, Scott McLaughlin, and the cars behind him still have to use at some point.
The day appears to keep unraveling for Pato O'Ward, Jamie Little.
Well, you said it perfectly. His day just continues to get worse. On lap number 1, they discovered they had a puncture in those primary tires that he started on. So he had to pit. They went to the soft tire. Now they just came in. So they ran the majority on the soft tire. They just put those harder tires, those primaries, back on. And he's still back there right now in 24.
It's looking comfortable for Scott McLaughlin. And this is very similar to 2022 when he started on pole, led majority of the race, and took that first victory here in IndyCar. He just seems to be very much in control right now.
I call it quiet hands. You can just tell he's not death gripping the steering wheel. He's got a relaxed grip. He's letting the car and the mechanics work through the steering. He's not trying to overpower and hold on to the bull. He's sort of rolling with it, staying loose on the streets of St. Pete, and it's working. McLaughlin is fast.
Just doesn't seem to have the pace that his teammate does leading up front. But speaking of up front, the number 60 that was running up there is in the pits. He's coming to Jack.
Quist is about to come in. He's literally just hit the marks perfectly. It looks like they're putting on the softer tire. We're going to be really interested if they make a front wing adjustment here. They do not. They send him out. Pretty smooth stop for the number 60 of Felix Rosenquist.
Scott McLaughlin, your race leader, is making his way into pit lane. Jamie Little standing by. Here's our race leader.
Yes, the new dad having a great weekend so far. Started this race on pole, led every lap until now. He will drive on down into his pit box. You see those softer tires ready to go on. They're very happy with the pace of this number 3. So far, so good for McLaughlin.
Couple of turns on the front wing. McLaughlin makes his way out. Where will he come out in relation to Rosenquist, who, having pitted earlier with that soft tire, if he can get that fired up, Rosenquist now coming into turn 1, but McLaughlin is miles ahead.
They said they really like the pace. You saw him making some adjustments inside the race car. They'll go from those primary hard tires and they will put on another set of hard primary tires. Just, they have a problem with the right rear. They can't get it on. The
Race.
time is ticking.
Jamie.
And he gets it on. Oh, my goodness.
Race coming undone for Colton Herta. Jamie.
Take another look at what went wrong for Colton Herta, your front row starter. In the box, fine. They get the right rear tire off, but you just see there's a little bit of a hiccup. It's hung up. It's a bizarre one. It's like it's stuck on that brake guard. Can't get it situated down and away. Good job.
So the soft tires so far hanging in there on performance. We'll be keeping an eye on it as teammates Dixon and Palou come in. Jamie.
Scott Dixon makes the drive down pit road. The 44-year-old six-time champion. He's had a good race car, started sixth.
Fascinating, guys, because as things stand, we're back to the order as it was, as Colton Herta has a look up the inside of Alex Palou with his tires up to temperature. That's a lovely move in a difficult place at turn 10.
Have to be opportunistic, though, if you're Colton Herta. If you're going to get back to the front where you know you think you belong, you've got to take high percentage opportunities like that, and you have to know who you're racing.
Scott McLaughlin of the Thirsty Threes, the Dex Imaging, and we ride on board with him, taking a move on Jacob Abel.
That puts Jacob Abel, the rookie, a lap down right there.
Possibly a little closer than he would have wanted it to be, but Scott McLaughlin is back to the front. But keep in mind, he is on the softer alternate tire. Now, Scott McLaughlin pulls the pin. He's had enough on those tires and rolls down to take on the primaries.
Now it's a three-stop race for basically everybody. Jamie, they could only hang on for about 12 laps.
Callum Milot.
Oh no.
Look at Marcus Armstrong.
The wheel is loose. Oh, no.
Or did he hit a wall, or is it just missing the wheel nut?
Doesn't look like there's any bend suspension on the left corner.
And Marcus Armstrong sits on pit road. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere. There was that problem with the left rear after he had it out on track. They looked at it, said it was good to go, put the tire on. It wasn't. And here he sits now. And after a brilliant race, a brilliant qualifying session yesterday, things starting to come undone for the Meyer Shank team, which had looked so strong all the way through. Christian Lundgaard and Alexander Rossi are your leading drivers here on the streets of St. Petersburg. Lundberg in the McLaren, Rossi in the ECR yellow and black, the Java House car there of Alexander Rossi. Big expectations with them, and Rossi now comes into pit lane. Shell 100% renewable fuel, but will it be the prime or will it be the alternate, Kevin?
They still have to fill that requirement to use the softs with the green sidewall, and this is the alternate stint. The plan was to try to make it the last stint, but they don't want to get trapped into something, and now they are likely have to do an extra stop. They could maybe make it on fuel, especially with the caution, but no one thinks, including the team, that the tires would last long enough.
5, it's effectively a P4 as we see the 7 now dive into the pits. That is the leader, and he is going to roll the dice in a big way, going to these soft tires and try to make them last for a full 30 laps. Jack, he is heading down your way for a crucial stop here late in the race.
Yeah, and they've said they really want to try and make these last, bring them in easy. He's just hit the marks perfect. The old tires are coming off, the new tires are going on, the softer tire, the slight bobble.
But Joseph Newgarden and Alex Palou both pitted while we were in break, guys, and it got pretty close between Newgarden and Lundgaard. Here it is.
This was Joseph Newgarden's final stop of the day. Fuel goes in, 4 tires. He blends out just ahead of Lundgaard and Rossi, who are on the softer tire, but we think they have to make one more stop or hang on to slower pace.
Rossi's already actually come in, got off of those softs. He's back on the hards, but Lundgaard, we heard that radio transmission from Brian Barnhart. He's going to try to make these things last to the end. Jamie.
Scott Dixon's led 5 laps today. He pits from the lead. I just asked Chip Ganassi, team owner, any changes? He said no. Dixon's happy. 4 tires, primaries go back on, guys.
And who moves into the lead? Scott McLaughlin once again. Let's look at the blend. There goes Palou. Scott Dixon out between him and Joseph Newgarden. The moment at the blend line that he takes the advantage and ultimately the move that would hand him the lead.
And Dixon would have been on that push to pass, just itching to hit the button.
Get this, has emerged now as the battle for the win. It's Palou who will be your de facto leader from Dixon and Newgarden, and there is McLaughlin. Jamie.
Scott McLaughlin, they made a couple changes in the 2 pit stops prior. No changes here. A little slow on the left front for the 3.
Back
Guys,
out.
Joseph Newgarden just got by Scott Dixon in turn 1. They were side by side, almost banging wheels. Newgarden pounced as Dixon was trying to find tire temperature.
That's what he had to do. Those outlaps are so tough, Townsend. You know it, trying to get heat in the tires. Let's take a look at it on the push to pass. Late on the brakes. I mean, that's one of the best in the business to do it. And good hard racing.
Whoa.
Joseph pushed him a little wide there.
Full stop. But Alex Palou, what a magic job to do the undercut. His team manager, Mike Hall, told me that the undercut they thought was going to be the advantage as Rosenquist comes in that shine-down car. The Meyer-Shank team goes to work. Everything looks smooth. Fuel and tires like clockwork, but he'll fall way back in the order.
It is on. Newgarden is going to pull this thing down under 2 seconds. Palou has got to make his move and make it soon.
Joseph Newgarden had the fastest lap on the racetrack that last lap. The number 2 is almost in the draft of Palou. This thing going to tighten up real fast.
Not just the fastest on the track that lap, that was the fastest lap of the race. The Joseph Newgarden machine is flying and is reeling in. Looks pretty hooked up, but again, now that he's caught up to the back of the 10, he's in that dirty air as well. He's only 2 car lengths behind him.
He's closer than he's ever been. It's under half a second through the final corner and down the start-finish stretch. Joseph Newgarden trying to stay with Alex Palou, who's just able to stretch his legs enough to bring enough of a gap that Newgarden cannot just yet get a sniff.
Reliably as Alex Palou looks for some slipstream, looks for the perfect run to try to get by Stingray Rob. He might just send it and go for it right here.
He does, makes the move up onto the inside. Alex Palou gets past Stingray Rob. Finally, now Newgarden has to follow suit if he wants to have any chance of contesting for this win.
And it'll be interesting to see if manufacturer politics come into play here.
Oh, it does.
It does.
Gets out the way.
Stingray Rob powered by Chevy, as is Newgarden, a Honda in the Ganassi cars of Palou and Dixon. That was some blatant interference.
Well, I don't know. He's let Dixon go through as well. So.
And he's right there on the back of that number 2.
What happened to Newgarden there, Will? All of a sudden the gap has opened up. He's starting to slide around. I think Newgarden's losing the handle on his balance.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's what it looks like, as you say. The car sliding around as we have white flag. Last lap of the race here in St. Petersburg. Palou now with over a second advantage from Joseph Newgarden, who is falling back into the clutches of Scott Dixon. And guys, what a drive it has been from Alex Palou today, and from that DHL Honda and the whole Ganassi crew, overcoming so many difficulties earlier in the weekend.
And look, he's got a little bit of breathing room right now to Newgarden. He can't relax, certainly, but with only a handful of corners to go, only one real passing opportunity. Newgarden nowhere close enough to make it happen. But Dixon, he is trying to line something up here. This isn't over for second.
Oh,
so close.
Here he comes, up and on the inside of Joseph Newgarden. That's P2 for the 6-time champion. A great move from Scott Dixon to take second place. But Alex Palou, your reigning champion, the man they all need to beat, lays down a marker on the streets of St. Pete. Alex Palou wins the opening round of the 2025 IndyCar season as Newgarden seemingly coasting to the line and apparently out of fuel.
Looks like Newgarden just made it there.
And Alex Palou takes the applause of the crowd here as Ganassi celebrate, and one man will be extremely happy. And there he is.
He was just doing what he was supposed to do. He was staying on, trying to stay on the lead lap, and he did that, but right till the end.
I think Nick Yeoman hit the nail on the head.
Scenes of celebration then down in victory lane for Alex Palou and the Ganassi team.